Hi everyone, it's Nate and welcome back to Elevate with Nate, the place where we're all about learning, self-improvement and motivation, and where I discuss a wide range of different topics and often new things I've learned in the last 24 hours. And I recommend you all to, in the comments, tell us what you've learned in the last 24 hours. Right, in today's episode, I'm going to be discussing crypto, but in particular, where to buy it from and a few potential tips and tricks. Now, I won't go into too much detail on the origins of what crypto is. That I'll leave for a different video. So let's start. Right, a great place to start is going to be two websites, either coingecko.com or coinmarketcap.com. So on here, I'm going to show you coingecko.com. And essentially what this website shows you is all of the prices and a lot more information on all the cryptocurrencies out there. It's simply say like a database. You can't buy from this website, but it's going to show you in quite a neat format what's going on in the crypto world. So if I scroll down here, you can see that currently number one and biggest crypto is Bitcoin, the most famous one. Then you've got Ethereum, Tether, BNB, and it keeps going. Okay. So let me break down a few important points here for those of you who perhaps have next to zero experience in crypto. So let's look at, of course, on the right here, you're going to have the graph for the last 7 days on how the crypto has done. So that's quite an important one. So as you can see here, it's currently red for the majority because the time of me recording this video, it's been kind of a not too good a week for crypto, so it's been going down. But not for all of them. There's one here, Solana, that's had a good week, so it's in green, just for reference. And what I can do here is, if I click on the individual crypto, so let's start with Bitcoin, for example, this will now show you, you have more options here to see how it's done in different time frames. So this here, 24 hours, this is good to know. I would say generally look at a wider time frame, so you can kind of get your bearings better. But I can pick 7 days. Okay, so it's gone from around $65,000 to down to 61.5, 1 month, okay, 3 months, 1 year, and max. So it's got a lot of things you can look at there, just to kind of give you a better gauge for whether you want to invest in the particular crypto. Right, so if I then go back to here, let's break down the different columns. So you've got price, what's happened last hour, 24 hours, 7 days, 24-hour volume, and market cap. So I'm going to start with the 1 hour, 24 hours, and 7 days. That's pretty common sense. Just showing you a percentage, what's it done. So you can see here for Bitcoin, it's gone down in the last hour by 0.4%, up by 1.3% in the last 24 hours, and last week down by 5.4%. And what I can do is simply, if I click on the column headers, say we come to the 1 hour one, this shows you currently what's on the best from the top 100, because this page I'm on currently is for just the top 100. If I go on to, where is it, page 2, you then get the next 100 cryptos. So if I go up again, you can then click again the same button to get the worst one in the last hour. I can do the same for 24 hours. So the best one was Maker, the worst was Fetch, etc. So that right there is a good indicator for what is doing well recently, rather than you having to go onto the actual crypto and then you look at the graphs. That can give you a pretty quick indication of what's happening in the crypto world. Right, so let's break down the last few columns here. So let's look at 24-hour volume and market cap. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about 24-hour volume. That's simply telling you how much of that crypto has been bought and sold in the last 24 hours, which I don't think is too relevant for most, to say, amateurs going into crypto. The more important one is the market cap. What that means is currently, how much money is there, say, in Bitcoin? So right now, there's $1.2 trillion on Bitcoin. And the second biggest Ethereum is 413 billion. So about a third the size of Bitcoin. And you can keep going down and see how quickly they go down. So number 10, for example, Dogecoin is at 18 billion. So that compared to 1.2 trillion is quite a lot smaller. So why is this important? And I'll tell you why. When people invest in crypto, of course, they want to get more money. And let's pick a nice, easy number to work with. And let's say you want to double your money. For Bitcoin, therefore, to double its money, or at least how much, say you bought some from crypto, you bought some Bitcoin, you want essentially the price to have doubled for you to have doubled your money. I'll touch on that a bit more in a second, but that's what you need. But the price, of each individual crypto, like Bitcoin, is assuming the same supply of the coins is linked to the market cap. So let's say right now there's X amount of Bitcoin in the world. Let's say for now, assume we're not adding more Bitcoins in. If you want the price to double, you need the market cap to double. Because the market cap, the amount of money in crypto, in Bitcoin, will come down to the number of tokens out there times by the cost of each token. Okay, so of course, therefore, if you want to have double the amount of price of that Bitcoin, of course, the market cap will double. So why is that important? It means that if you buy Bitcoin right now at the current price of roughly $60,000, to double your money, that means that the world have to have another $1.2 trillion in Bitcoin alone. Now, that might be doable. I'm hoping it is for my sake too. But just food for thought. Say in Bitcoin alone, you need $1.2 trillion more for you to double your money if you buy right now. But let's now go down a bit further down the list of cryptos. So let's go down to Dogecoin here, which currently has 18 billion market cap. So if you now buy some right now, for you to double your money, that would mean that this 18 would have to go to 36 billion. So 18 billion more. Now, that you might think, it depends on each individual and how your brain works, but you might go, right, 1.2 trillion for Bitcoin sounds ludicrous, but 18 billion, that sounds more likely. So that's just kind of food for thought. So of course, the smaller the crypto is, the easier it will be to triple your money. Bitcoin is now very established, so of course it's a less risky coin to go into, but of course therefore less chance of massive gains. And we can keep going down here, but just one last thing on Dogecoin. If it had gone up double, 36 billion, I like to always think about where would that put the coin. So I would put it now as the new number 6. And you might go, that's reasonable. In which case, if you believe in Dogecoin, then invest in it. But let's keep going down. Again, complete random here. Let's say I picked, number 50, let's say. Oh, dog with hat. That was done amazingly earlier this year. This is at currently 2 billion market cap. So if I want to buy it now and double my money, I need that to go to 4 billion. Now, where would that put that coin? At 4 billion, but roughly at number 28. So you might go, okay, going from number 50 to 28 doesn't sound as crazy. Can you follow logic here? For the smaller coins, is a higher chance, of course, it's easier to double, but of course you're hoping that people buy the coin. Riskier. Okay, and before I go on to a bit more information on each particular crypto, one more important thing to look at, which is the price. Now, I want to mention the price because I've often heard people who are getting into crypto not quite understand this, and they might say, look at Pepe right here. It's worth $0.0000122. That's nothing. That's the worst coin of all time. Whereas they might now say, look at wrapped Bitcoin, 61,000, or look at actual Bitcoin again. That's much better. Don't worry about that price. That price thing essentially is essentially a bit irrelevant to you with your crypto, because all that price is, it looks at the total market cap, let's say, amount of money in that cryptocurrency, and they were divided by how many, let's say, tokens or how many coins they have for that particular crypto. So for example, let's say there was $100 in a particular crypto, but that crypto had 100 tokens. So doing $100 divided by 100 gives you $1. So therefore that price would be $1. However, let's say now you had, same scenario, different crypto, only $100 in that, but there are only over 10 tokens. So therefore 100 over 10 is just $10. So you might go, well, what's much better? Well, not necessarily, because if you were only going to pay $10 yourself, in the first one, you could afford to buy 10 tokens. So you have 10 tokens at $1 is $10 worth. In the second crypto, right, which had a $10 price, you only have $10. So you can only afford one token. So what I'm saying there essentially is, just don't worry about what the price is of the crypto. What's important is, relative to its curve, do you think that crypto is going to increase relative to its current price? Okay, and that will come down to many different things, such as whether it's got a reason to go up, a reason to buy, etc. And actually, one very last thing to mention before I go on to each crypto, which is just watch out for what we call the stable coins. So examples of stable coins would be USDT, Tether. Another one I can probably find here is USDC. These ones here are not really, let's say, cryptos you'd invest in to make a profit on. These are essentially it's a bit like kind of the fiat currency. It's like synthetic money. So when I'll show you in a second, go onto these platforms like Binance.com, you need to say buy some crypto. But if you don't want to buy directly, say some Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can buy something called, for example, USDT, Tether, US Tether. And that Tether, essentially what happens there is it always stays at $1 or more or less 0.9984. So essentially, if you put your money into Tether, it won't go up or down. So at that point, people would say, let's say you've bought some crypto, okay, you've made a profit, and you go, right, I want to sell my Bitcoin. You might go, rather than selling it into actual money in your bank account and removing the money from your exchange, you would transfer it, sell it into one of these stable coins. Say, I've got the money, but it's still in digital currency. It's just in now Tether rather than Bitcoin. And from there, you can now use that Tether, that is this kind of digital money, then to kind of buy other cryptos. So just watch out for that. Don't think you can make money on Tether and the other ones. Just that's simply kind of something you use to buy other cryptos. Right, so let's click on one of these cryptos. And I'm going to start with, just randomly, Solana, number 5. And if I do this, again, you've got the graphs that I mentioned earlier. There's a few nice things just to mention here. Firstly, if you go right to the bottom, it has here some information about what they are. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I will be creating a new video at some point about exactly what crypto is, what the blockchain is, what DeFi means, etc. But just for now, you can find out about each particular coin on CoinGecko in this section here. Just in case it helps you decide what you want to buy. It could be that you see that it's a AI coin or a machine learning coin, which then you might go, well, that's a new big thing, let's invest in it. So do give it a read if you want to know more about what each coin is all about. And then here's the next thing to look at, markets. So I click markets, it will take me down to this point here. And what this leads on to is essentially where you can buy your each individual crypto. So right here, this one here, because it's such a massive coin, Solana, number 5, it has lots and lots. It goes up to page 34, so roughly 340-ish ways of buying this. And you can see here on the left, these are the exchanges, or you might refer to it as kind of the websites you're going to use. So you've got Gates.io, Binance, etc. Other ones like Qcoin. But these are the main ones you can use. And I'm going to now show you essentially how to use the Binance. That's what I personally have been using. So if I go to Binance, and I'm not going to break down everything, because some bits here, even though I haven't used personally, but there's two main things here really. It's how you're going to buy the crypto, and then how you're going to afterwards kind of exchange different cryptos. So of course, to use a exchange like a Binance or a Qcoin, you have to sign up. Now, it can be a bit tedious. You've got to go through jump through the whole hoops of giving your details and probably your passport and other bits and bobs. I think it might take a day or two to verify you, but as long as you follow the instructions, you'll get done and it'll be fine. So I'm not logged in here, but assume you are logged in. At this point here, under buy crypto, I personally do it via bank card. And here's the thing. You put in, of course, your currency you have. Say you got £100, put it in there. And then you can say what you want to buy. So at this point, it's going to say here, BTC, Bitcoin. And let's say, because currently it's worth, one Bitcoin was worth roughly $1,000. If I only put $100 in, of course, I'm going to get very few BTCs. So you might get 0.00 something BTCs. So just be aware that that's why we're very small, because you haven't put much money in. Whereas if, for example, there's a coin which is worth $0.0000 dollars, which is nothing, and you now put in $100, you're going to get a lot of tokens. So at this point you can pick, and just be aware though that you cannot buy every single crypto directly with your GBP or with your dollars or with your euros. The only options you have here are the ones here, okay? Now, when I first was using Binance a few years ago, there actually weren't many here. Essentially, you could buy a few directly with your cash, but if it wasn't that, what you had to do was quite frustratingly, buy USDT, the tether, and then from there exchange it to other cryptos, or you might have to buy Bitcoin in exchange. It's got better now, as you can see here, there's a lot more options, and probably a lot of the top 200 you will have here as options to buy. So say I buy Theta, and you go from there, and then of course it will say there buy, it says login, but that's where you buy it. Now, just as an example, for ones which you can't buy directly with your, with your cash, I found one on CoinGecko. I think it was number 193 here. And if you scroll down to markets, you can see here that with Binance, you can only buy it with, always look at the second bit, with USDT. And if you go to different pages, it might be that there's other options too. You can buy it with Bitcoin too, but I believe there's not the option to buy this with with cash. So just be aware of that. It's always quite nice to check on CoinGecko just to make sure that you're correct, that you can't buy it with your cash. Right, so at this point, hopefully either you have your crypto which you want, or if you couldn't buy it directly, you've bought the crypto which you need to therefore exchange, and you have, let's say, your Tether or your Bitcoin. So now the next bit is, okay, well, how am I exchange this? And you want to go down to the trade button, and you've got convert. And this, I think, is actually a potentially newish thing here, which pretty quite quickly will just for you make the conversion here between, say, USDT and whatever you want. And you can change the crypto to what you have. Now, I personally, just because I like to see some of the graphics, I often go to simply margin exchange. It's perhaps a bit more clunky actually, but I don't mind that. So let's say that scenario where I wanted to have that Celo, that CELO coin, for example, and I've now bought some USDT. What I now do is on the right here, I'll go to search, because currently this graph, which we can see here, is for, on the top left, it shows you, this is for buying Bitcoin with USDT. And you've got all the graphs here as you would with CoinGecko, and you can change the the time frame. So I want to look at now Celo, and of course you can either buy it with BTC or USDT. Let's say I use USDT, click that, and now up top here it will tell you what we're looking at, which is what we need. So at this point, let's say you get right, it's quite low, I want to buy some. You will scroll down, and here you're going to have limit, market, and stop limit. Now, stop limits and these other bits and bobs are very good things to use. I won't discuss it in today's episode, but I will in a later episode. But I'm going to simply mention limits and market orders. What a market order means, essentially, you go, right, I want to simply buy some crypto now at the current price, okay? I want it now. And you simply put in, I want to pay £100 for this, and that's that. The good thing about that is, it's quite quick, okay? You're going to get your crypto kind of as soon as possible. But the only issue with that is the following. In theory, you might not get it at the exact price right now. It might be that, just happen that you wanted it for $100 and at the end it ends up going for $100.50, okay? So you don't get the best price possible. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think my view on this is, if you want the money right now, you want to exchange, just use the market. But if you can wait around a bit and you might say, right, currently the coin is at, say 0.614 or whatever it was, and you say, right, that's a bit too high for now, but if it hits 0.612, then I want to buy some. Then that's how you order this, okay? You can say, look, I want to buy some, put in your limits, I want to buy at 0.62, and this here shows you how much of the tether you have, okay, or USDT. So you might say, I've got 1,000 here, I want to put $200 in. So you put that amount, 200, okay? And at that point, this would say here, buy or place order. Okay, it won't say it now, but that's what it will say if you logged in, and you click that. And in that scenario there, what will happen is, it won't go through just yet, because if it's at currently 0.614, and you want to buy at 0.612, of course, it's going to come down. So the good thing there is, about a limit order is, you can get things cheaper, of course, if you're willing to wait. But of course, the downside might be that it never goes down. So you come back tomorrow morning, it's now 0.617, and you've gone, blast, I didn't get the actual order. And now, if you do a market order, you're going to have paid more than yesterday. So that's more of a waiting game and a patience game. So those are two things. Market is right now, limit is more kind of long game, and you can place your orders on how you want to do it. And just so you aware, here on the right will be, I'm pretty certain, the sell option. So that'll reverse it. I want to sell my CLO and get some USDT. So aside from that, I think that is kind of the bare basics of how to use Binance and understanding crypto and CoinGecko. That should help you get the foot in the door to get some money in the Binance and buy some crypto. I will go into more detail later on in a different episode, as I mentioned, on stop limits and what crypto and the blockchain really is. But I'll mention one last thing before I end this episode, which is the following. When you go back to the CoinGecko, and it's going to take you back to the markets, if I click here. Right, this shows you all the different places where you can buy that crypto. So in this instance here, it was this seller. Now, as you can see there, you don't have to use Binance. You could use OKX, you can use BingX, you can use Gate.io, you can use many different types, and they can all there be used. But you just have to watch out slightly here, because when it comes to you selling your crypto, let's say it's gone up loads and you want to sell it right now and get some money from it. When you sell crypto, that's not magic. You don't suddenly get money because you sold it. The fact that you're selling it means that someone else must be buying it, okay? So when you click sell crypto, you're hoping that someone else goes, I want to buy at that price and buy your crypto. Hopefully that's common sense. So imagine right now, you've picked one of these exchanges, one of these websites, which has very, very, very few people on it, using it. So as you can see here on this 24-hour volume, you can see that, look closely, NEXC has done 4.5 million just today. Binance, 2.7 million. But let's go to page 8, for example. Again, these are for buying with different, say, sell with euros. Some of these have very, very few. So what does that mean for you when buying and selling crypto? Well, just be careful. Because let's say right now, this one here is still quite a big crypto. Number 190 is big-ish, okay, some kind of medium. But let's say you went for a really random coin. You went for the number 500, number 1,000 in the world, and you've managed to kind of get onto a smaller exchange, because some of the smaller cryptos won't use Binance. You have to literally use a smaller one. Let's say you've now made an account and you've got this quite bizarre coin, and you've now gone $10,000 or more or less, okay? and now it's gone up, you're going to sell. But if on your exchange, let's say there's you put $10,000 in, with only $15,000 in circulation because no one's using that website, well, who's going to buy it? If no one's using that website, that exchange, then how are you going to sell your crypto? You just can't, okay? You might be a bit of faff about moving your crypto from one exchange to another, but that's a bit of a pain in the ass. So, point saying is, just be careful. It probably won't apply to you, but be aware of the volume on that exchange for the coin you want to buy. Right, that's all for me today on cryptocurrency and Binance in particular. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. It's Nate, it's been great, onwards and upwards.